Look, Guy, women's basketball is more popular than ever, but a fight is brewing behind the sold-out venues and record-breaking ratings.
This is the moment that we've been waiting for in women's basketball. And honestly, it's way bigger than that. This is the moment that we've been waiting for in women's sports.
ESPN's Cheney is currently taking veiled jabs at the Indiana Fever's explosive ascent on one side, while Kelsey Mitchell, the Beavers' unsung hero, recently responded with a comment so brutally honest that it left the whole sports media industry reeling.
First, I'm so glad I got my sister from another mister, one of the most electrifying guards in the WNBA. She's been breaking records since her college days. We're talking about handles, three-point shooting, and an undeniable work ethic. This woman deserves her flowers. She defines consistency and excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kelsey Mitchell.
Because this isn't just about basketball, it's also about the unshakable friendship between two superstars, Mitchell and Caitlin Clark, who refuse to let the media break him down, devotion versus jealousy, and truth versus narratives.
Kelsey Mitchell, I am a guard, and I look forward to playing with the team this year.
This is more than just a viral moment, it's a reckoning. If you love brave women who defend their team, hit the like button and subscribe for unfiltered sports drama. Mitchell has enjoyed the Fever's darkest days for years, but now that the league is trying to undermine her team's success, she's taking center stage and fans are completely enamored with her. Let's get started.
Maybe I'll start with you, Kels, because Lord Jesus, your team and their fans, they be getting up in everybody's business.
Lord Jesus, y'all team and they fans, they be getting up in everybody's business. Cheney stated to Kelsey Mitchell during a national ESPN interview, indicating that the animosity didn't begin on the court, but rather on camera.
I had a follow-up on Caitlin's on here, which is fine, but two of you combined for nearly 60-plus points, and you both shot 54%, each hitting 5 threes. I mean, what is going on in the backcourt for you two?
I think that me and Caitlin, as well as our group, I think we just found a way to, for one, understanding all.
Now it might have sounded like banter to some, but to those who have experienced years of defeats and empty arenas, it wasn't funny. Rather, it was a familiar attempt to minimize a team's ascent to a media circus rather than a legitimate force. Founded on grit, loyalty, and sacrifice. And who knows that sacrifice better than Mitchell?
Ionescu will heave and hit! Asia Wilson with 1,000 career points on the season. Clark from the logo.
Mitchell State endured 7 seasons of grueling reconstruction, the heartache of losing her father shortly before the 2023 season began, and the agony of witnessing her golden years fade into obscurity as WNBA stars migrated to glitzy markets and championship-ready lineups.
The fans, tell us anything else you want to say to the fans. Full house today.
To all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day. I've been fortunate enough to have a really great father in my life for the last 28 years, who passed recently. And so to the fathers out there, keep doing y'all thing. We won't be here without you guys, and so enjoy y'all Father's Day.
When the spotlight finally reaches the Fever, Mitchell is refusing to let anyone alter the story. Not the media, not ESPN, not Lord Jesus, not the people, and nobody else. This superhero didn't flinch, man. She didn't flee, she chose Indiana.
Oh man, I think I've seen both sides of it. For one, like being on a team with like Caitlin and knowing that some of the stuff and the wave that she created for like us, you know, where the game is and what she's been a part of, like as far as this process, I've seen so much of it. And so I think for me lately is the shift in moments in Indiana period, as far as like the arena, where we started, and B was my vet, kinda, right? Kinda.
We up there, sis. We up there.
She was a Fever girl first, and so she also saw, and you know, she's a vet too. They've seen what Indiana was, and I think now where it's at now, the big moment is seeing the shift.
For far too long, Mitchell was ignored, buried under the hype, and written off by the media that now acts as though it cares. But today, she's the backbone of the league's most exciting team. She's a voice of every underdog who never got their flowers, and whether the league likes it or not, she's done being quiet. Because when that comment came, she didn't just sit there and smile. She fired back not with drama, but with truth. And in that moment, it wasn't about ego or headlines. It was about defending her team, her city, and the crowd that supported her when no one else did.
You know, to add on to what Christine asked about women's sports in general, you guys have played almost every game before a sellout crowd this whole season, wherever you've gone. And how much does that affect you on the court? And do you ever look around and say, hey, this place is packed? want to see us? Those kinds of things?
I blame you. But I think it's a really great opportunity for us to kind of like present, who we are as a team. And I think that the work that the class that came in, draft class that came in, did a really good job of like putting themselves on the pedestal to be known, to be seen, and I think that we can utilize that.
The figures are honest. In addition to altering the game, Caitlin Clark is rewriting history. She is selling out arenas, sending merchandise flying off shelves, smashing records set during the Jordan era, and yet the WNBA establishment has responded with backhanded compliments, veiled insults, and outright resentment instead of showing off. ESPN analysts smirk and say it's not just about one player. The league was okay before her, according to former stars, but in reality, these people are afraid.
Shooter at 90% will take 3 here at the line.
11 offensive rebounds a game, one of the best in the league.
Clark frees up Boston for 2.
7% for 3.
Have so much size in the front court.
The reason it's easy is because Clark's ascent reveals an unsettling truth. For decades, the WNBA has been lacking a transcendent star, and now that she has arrived, they are unsure of how to manage her. Her $28 million Nike contract surpasses most veteran contracts.
Hasn't shot, but it's just a great job. Change of spin down. An excellent screen. Look at this beautiful Caitlin Clark. Handles right. Here gets the screen, small.
Her logo threes and highlight reel passes surpass the league's traditional grinded-out approach, and her unwavering confidence directly confronts the status quo.
Here we go. One of the most anticipated matchups in the history of women's college basketball. Caitlin Clark and Iowa.
However, this is what enrages the detractors the most. Not only did Clark attract new fans, but she also brought in an army of 73-year-old grandfathers who had never watched a women's game in their lives, teenage girls who now wear her jersey, and LeBron's casual sports fans who tune in to watch what she does next. When Kelsey Mitchell stood in front of the cameras and declared that Caitlin Clark was largely responsible for the growth of women's basketball, it wasn't just support, it was a declaration of war against the gatekeepers who had spent months trying to minimize her impeachment. The message is clear. Even if the media continues to act otherwise, Mitchell and millions of new fans will be there to remind them one viral moment at a time.
How have you guys experienced? Is there like a moment that you think of when it comes to the explosion of the game and how it has changed the game?
Your team and their fans, they be getting everybody's business, adds Lord J as the Chinese smile curls into the frame, setting the trap. The lights of the studio shone. The ESPN panel waited as the cameras rolled, anticipating silence, obedience, and a forced smile from Kelsey Mitchell as she swallowed the contempt. The test they anticipated was incorrect. Mitchell didn't hesitate, stutter, or even blink before slicing through the story with surgical accuracy. I believe Caitlin Clark is largely responsible for the rise of women's basketball. The producers off camera probably choked on their coffee. Since this wasn't just a reply but a declaration of war, and the subtext of the Chinese barb was clear that the Fever's ascent is a fluke, and their supporters are annoying. The air in that room turned to cold, and the Chinese grin faded. Although Caitlin's domination is only fleeting, Mitchell didn't simply deny the idea. Instead, she exposed the flaws in the WNBA's media apparatus with a single sentence.
And now Clark comes up with a steal. Clark thought about pulling up from 3, will dip inside and lay it in. There are the first points in the WNBA career of Caitlin Clark.
No, they don't want a famous person they didn't pick. They don't want a following they can't manage. And they most definitely don't want a seasoned, courageous, and battle-tested veteran like Mitchell to call them out on live TV for making fun of a white girl.
If you have a and a, you are.
Fans immediately took to social media to criticize ESPN for his evident prejudice. This is the reason why people don't trust the media, Chinny. The Fever aren't just altering the rules of the game, they're rewriting them. The WNBA's greatest ploy was to convince everyone that the rivalry sells tickets. But Clark and Mitchell are breaking the mold, and the league can't handle that. Kelsey just ended her entire career, but the real damage Mitchell demonstrated was that the players hold the power.
Turn it over, and the chemistry between these two, it is blossoming every game.
Just nice handoff, one dribble to get it right back.
what seems to be an easy.
This is a basketball symphony, not just backcourt chemistry. Mitchell, the battle card assassin who bled for this team during its darkest years, and Clark, the meteoric phenom who brought the entire sport into the mainstream, shouldn't work together on paper. They are the league's most lethal duo, a volume scorer and a pass-first maestro, but here they are in the media's worst nightmare because they refuse to play the BS media game. The WNBA craves drama, manufactured beef, and catty sound bites. But Mitchell and Clark are far too focused on winning when the media tried to match Clark against Angel Reese. When Clark felt nasty, Mitchell shut it down. Clark insisted that she win Player of the Month, but Mitchell outperformed her. This isn't just a board, it's a middle finger to all the haters who believed that jealousy would split them apart. And the opponents were frightened twice. You lock down, and Mitchell and Clark will slaughter you with a 25 a night on near perfect efficiency. They will drop so filthy that they belong on a mixtape. There is no strategy. There is no weakness to take advantage of. There are only two murderers who fared worse than any defense. I'm referring to betrayal, anguish, and pressure, and they emerged victorious.
Clark sizing up Cunningham. Here is Mitchell. Another three. Mitchell is locked in.
Great 1-2 punch there from Clark.
They cannot be broken by the media. The Fever have the best starting lineup and the deepest bench, so the league cannot ignore them. The haters will suffer throughout the season because this isn't just a partnership, it's a revolution, and Mitchell and Clark are just getting started. They're taking this game beyond race and making it all about the players. Many years, the WNBA pleaded for respect from the sports industry, which viewed them as nothing more than an afterthought. They ran marketing campaigns, put Watch Us work on billboards, and urged fans to give women's basketball a chance. They also begged for primetime slots and corporate sponsors. After then, Caitlin Clark appeared.